In a quiet little village, surrounded by endless green fields and the sound of a flowing river, lived a 16-year-old boy named Arif. The mornings there were peaceful, mist rising from the river, birds chirping, and fishermen preparing their boats for the day. Arif's home stood at the edge of the village, a small clay house with a tin roof and a tiny garden in front. His father was a carpenter, a hard-working man who ran a modest workshop near the market. Every day, he crafted wooden chairs, tables, and toy boats, earning just enough to feed his family. They weren't rich, but they were honest and kind. His mother often said, "We may not have much, but we have love, and that's enough." But Arif had a dream that stretched far beyond his small home. He wanted to become a runner, not just any runner, but one who would someday represent his district, maybe even his country. Every morning, before dawn, when the whole village was still asleep, Arif would tie his worn-out shoes, step outside, and run by the river. The sky would slowly turn orange behind the hills as he sprinted through the fog. His breathing was heavy, his feet splashing through puddles, but his determination was unshakable. He dreamed that one day he would be selected for the district sports academy, a place where real athletes trained. If he could get in, he could train professionally, make his father proud, and perhaps build a better life for his family. But reality wasn't kind. For 2 years, Arif joined every local race. Every time he came close, second or sometimes third, never first. People began to whisper. His friends laughed, "Arif, maybe running isn't for you. You've been trying for years, and what have you achieved?" But Arif didn't stop. He believed that one day his hard work would pay off. One rainy morning, the sky was gray, thunder rumbled in the distance, and the narrow path by the river turned muddy. Arif, as usual, was running. His shirt clung to his body, drenched in rain, his shoes sinking into the wet soil. Suddenly, his foot slipped on a stone. He fell hard, scraping his knee and twisting his ankle. Mud splashed across his clothes. Pain shot up his leg. He sat beneath a large banyan tree, rainwater dripping from his hair, and for the first time in a long while, he cried. "Maybe they're right," he muttered between sobs. "No matter how much I try, I still lose. Maybe I'm just not good enough." The sound of the rain mixed with his tears. The dream that once burned bright inside him now felt distant, like a fading candle in the wind. Just then, an old shepherd passed by, holding a wooden stick and leading 2 cows. He stopped when he saw the boy crying under the tree. "Why the tears, young man?" the old man asked gently. "I run every day. I try so hard, but I always lose. Maybe I'm not meant to be a runner." The old man smiled kindly. "Let me tell you something, son. Do you see those bamboo trees over there?" Arif looked at the grove beside the river. Tall green stalks swaying in the rain. "Do you know how long it takes for bamboo to grow?" asked the old man. Arif had, "It takes 5 years. Nothing comes out of the ground. You water it, nurture it, protect it, but you see no sign of growth. Most people give up. But what they don't see is that beneath the soil, the bamboo is growing strong roots. And when the time comes, it shoots up 80 feet high in just a few weeks." The old man's voice softened. "Arif, it doesn't grow all of a sudden. It was growing where no one could see. You too are like that bamboo. You're growing your roots. Don't stop now." Those words pierced straight into Arif's heart. He stood silently, looking at the bamboo grove, and whispered, "Growing my roots." That night, Arif couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his mind. He realized that every time he lost, every time he failed, he was actually building something deeper. Patience, endurance, discipline. His roots were growing strong, even if the world couldn't see it yet. The next morning, Arif tied his shoes again. His ankle still hurt, but he ran anyway. He didn't care about winning anymore. He just wanted to become better than he was yesterday. From that day forward, he trained differently, more intelligently. He watched professional runners on his father's old phone, learned about breathing techniques, proper posture and rhythm. He marked every kilometer he ran, every second he improved. He even built small hurdles near the river with wooden planks. Rain or heat, he ran every day. And every day, his speed, strength, and confidence quietly grew. A year passed. Arif was no longer the same boy. His body had grown lean and powerful, his eyes sharp with determination. Even the villagers noticed him. He moved differently now, with grace and confidence. His father often stood outside the workshop and watched him train. He didn't say much, but deep inside, he was proud. One evening, Arif received the news. The district inter-school championship was happening in 2 weeks. The winner would get a scholarship and a place in the district sports academy. This was it, his chance, his moment. The morning of the race was bright and clear. The stadium was buzzing with energy, flags waving, crowds cheering, athletes stretching and warming up. Arif stood at the starting line wearing his simple white jersey with the number 23. Around him were runners from big city schools, tall, confident, with brand new shoes and shiny gear. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and remembered the words of the old shepherd. Your roots are growing. Don't stop now. The whistle blew. They all shot forward. Arif started slow, controlled, steady. He didn't panic when 2 runners passed him. He focused on his breathing, his rhythm, his heartbeat. Halfway through, his legs began to burn. The crowd blurred around him, but he kept going. Then came the final 200 meters. Something inside him clicked. His mind went silent. His body moved as if it had been waiting for this exact moment all its life. He leaned forward, pumping his arms, overtaking one, then another, until the finish line was in sight. He pushed one last time and crossed first. For a moment, everything went quiet. Then the stadium erupted in cheers. Arif stood, panting, disbelieving, tears mixing with sweat. His father was in the stands, frozen, his hands over his mouth, eyes full of tears. The villagers who came to watch shouted his name, Arif! Arif! He had done it. After years of struggle, loss, and doubt, he won. But most importantly, he had become the person who never gave up. Years later, after training at the sports academy and winning multiple medals, Arif returned to his village. The same river, the same fields, but everything felt different. He walked to the banyan tree where he had once sat crying in the rain. Under that tree now sat the same old shepherd, older and weaker, but with the same warm eyes. Arif knelt beside him and said, "Because of your words, I found my strength. If I had not met you that day, I might have given up." The old man smiled softly. "My words were just seeds, Arif. But you are the one who watered them." Arif bowed his head with gratitude. Years passed, but Arif never forgot the lesson of the bamboo. Whenever he faced challenges in life, he remembered, growth doesn't always show on the surface. Sometimes the most important progress happens underground. He began to share his story with others, children in schools, young athletes, and villagers. His message was simple. Don't give up just because you don't see results. Your roots might be growing strong beneath the surface. Keep watering your dream. Your time will come. Moral of the story: great things take time. The seed you plant today may take years to show results, but every small step, every struggle, every failure builds your foundation. Be like the bamboo. Grow your roots, stay patient, and one day you'll rise higher than you ever imagined.